Hello, you're probably watching this because you have IBS. If you don't, then why are you watching this? Anyways, I have IBS and I've been watching a lot of IBS videos on YouTube, for pointers, tips, and stuff, and I'm actually having a really hard time finding any decent information on IBS. Most of the videos are 101 tutorials on the basic symptoms of IBS, but none of them actually give any good information as to how to combat it or to help sufferers. So I'm kind of calling BS on that. So I thought I'd share the knowledge that I have or I've collected for the past 2.5 years that I've had IBS and kind of talk a little bit about that. First of all, there's a lot of things I think we need to watch for as IBS sufferers that not a lot of people nobody talks about, which is drug use and depression. Also, in my case, I've experienced food phobia, which is basically when you're petrified to eat anything because of how much it hurts. So the pain of starving actually isn't bad in comparison to the pain it feels when you're digesting things. So this is another big misconception people have about IBS, which is that, it's kind of funny, gross, and that it's like you poo a lot and whatever. But in fact, in my case as well, I suffer from severe constipation. So there are days where I'm praying to God that I can go to the bathroom. And second, it's severe pain, like crippling pain that I can't even get out of bed. It's that bad. So for an organ that actually doesn't have a lot of nerve endings in it, to be experiencing that type of pain from that body part takes a lot. So when people joke about it, I don't think it realizes how it actually could offend an IBS sufferer because of the pain factor. So with that said, I like everyone to just keep an open mind in the comments section, and stuff like that. Also, IBS differs for every single person. You can't say, I can't tell you the things that I'll suggest will work for you, because from what I've seen, everyone's different, whether it's IBS or Crohn's or like celiac, they're all very different, but yet they all have similar things, and I think everyone has their own tolerance levels to certain substances, and, we have to kind of keep that in mind, that you might not just have celiac, you might have IBS and vice versa. I know when people ask me, like, oh, you can't have this piece of cake, I'm more likely to say that I'm celiac just because it sounds better. No offense, celiac people, but you got it easier because IBS, it's gross, right? It already has that, ew, irritable bowel, like, did you have to make it sound so terrible? And then celiac, oh, that sounds like a heavenly scented flower, it's like, so if you're embarrassed about IBS and telling people about it, tell them you got celiac. It definitely works for me. Another thing a lot of people don't talk about is the weight loss in IBS. You will dramatically lose weight once you change your diet. You won't bloat as much, so you'll generally look skinnier, even if you haven't lost any real weight. And so in my experience, I've done a little bit of both. I'm not as bloated as I used to be, and I lost some weight. So it made me realize that it's weird how people respond to that. I get a lot of compliments. People are always asking me what diet I'm on, and it can be a really tricky conversation and can bring up a lot of strange emotions, considering I do this because I have to, not because it's a choice. that a lot of pain is involved. And also, I don't really care about looking like a model or anything like that. So if you know that someone has IBS or any kind of digestion-related disorder, don't compliment them on their weight loss. I mean, yeah, I guess it could be a perk, but for most people, it could be a very sensitive issue. And in general, when you see people who are losing dramatic amounts of weight, it's not always because they want to. Sometimes it could be a life-threatening disease. So keep that in mind. Okay, so to get started, I'm just going to show some things to you that I had to pay doctors, dietitians, and naturopaths to tell me about. The first thing I'm going to talk about is tea, because tea needs to be your best friend. If you don't drink tea, you got to start drinking tea tonight. It's easy. It's practically free because you just need to boil water. It's that easy. So the types of teas you want to drink for IBS or anyone with digestion problems is any mint, peppermint, spearmint, mint, all around mint. Drink mint tea. Another good tea to drink is fennel, which is an anti-inflammatory. So you can either just buy like a huge package of fennel for really cheap in the spices section of your grocery store. Crush it up, put it in a thing, boil it up, drink it, and it'll really help you out a lot. Or you can find all these things in certain tea mixtures that people make. And the best thing to do is go to a local farmer's market or something like that where you can be provided organic teas. And this is a big thing. A lot of people who suffer from IBS and other allergies, you really need to think about the kind of chemicals that are being put into our food, preservatives, flavor enhancers. These are all the things that basically I die from when I eat. And they're in everything. So, if you have allergies, IBS, celiacs, whatever the case may be, you need to start a book if you haven't already started one. If you go see a doctor or a naturopath or a dietitian, they'll all make you do this. It's funny that you pay so much for them to tell you basically keep a food diary. So my food diary isn't as anal as a lot of other people's. Very rarely do I make diary entries anymore, just because it's been 2.5 years and I've just kind of build up the memory where I could be like, 2 days ago I had this for dinner. But if you're starting out and you're not used to doing that kind of thing, start up a food diary to help you keep track of all the things you're eating. Because say you eat something, 6 hours later, if you have IBS, you're going to feel it. It's not like an instantaneous allergy, like people who eat peanut butter and get hives all over instantly. With IBS, you can see a reaction 6 to 12 hours later. So it's good to keep a diary to keep track of everything. In my book, on the front page, I have a list of all the preservatives, additives, and chemicals that they put in foods that are hazardous or cancer-causing or can cause allergies. Also, I have different names for MSG. Because those tricky guys, they put MSG in everything, and to get around saying that it's MSG, they call it something else like hydrolyzed cornstarch or sodium caseinate, yeast extract. That's all different words for MSG. Also, in this book, I like to keep, it's a cookbook now. I just write recipes of all the good anti-inflammatory recipes, things I can eat, things that are gluten-free, all this kind of stuff.